Pag-usapan natin ngayon ang hindi na mapigilan na pagiging celebrity ni VP Inday Sara sa buong mundo. Sikat na siya ngayon dahil laman siya ng balita sa iba't ibang bansa. Ang una kong natungayan yung BBC London. Tapos sa India, sa Wyon, sa US, sa Australia, Canada. Ito ngayon, i-share ko sa inyo, Bloomberg sa US and then sa TDR Global News. Pinag-uusapan si VP Inday Sara. Grabe. Usually, ang mga sumisikat lang, mga presidente. Ang busy, tahimik. Ito ngayon, dahil sa panggigipit nila sa agila ng Davao, wala na. Hindi na mapigilan. Celebrity si VP Inday Sara sa buong mundo. Unahin natin itong Bloomberg opinion. Title is, Manila can't afford to get distracted by Marcos Duterte feud. Yan ang title.
What a saga is unfolding. So far, the markets have not necessarily been too shaken, but it's definitely captured the tabloids. As far as political feuds go, this one is pretty spectacular. What has stood out to you, obviously?
For me, it's just how much the Dutertes have been determined to insert themselves into the political discourse around Filipino politics. I mean, you know, for Sarah Duterte to say that she had thought of beheading the president, that she wanted to dig up his father's body and throw him into the sea, and that, of course, as you noted, Rodrigo Duterte, the former president, saying the military should sort this out. I mean, all of this is incredibly inflammatory language. We knew that this political marriage of convenience between the Dutertes and the Marcoses wouldn't last, but I don't think anyone expected it to blow up in such extraordinary fashion.
Okay, sabi niya, we know that this political convenience between Marcos and Duterte would not last long. Sila, ako, ang aking pag-asa, ang aking paniniwala, tatagal ng 6 na taon eh. Kasi ang ganda yung samahan nila nung una. Kaya punong-puno ako ng pag-asa. Ang sweet nila nung una, yung sweet na mag-asawa. Kasi ang ganda yung chemistry nila nung campaign period. Yung pala, meron nang nangyayari. Yung mga binubulgar ni VP Sara ngayon na itong si Romualdez, nagre-reklamo, ang First Lady, kung ano-ano. Wala na, meron na pala. Nung campaign period pa lang. So, ito, foreign media, alam nila hindi magtatagal, but nabigla sila dahil masyadong maagang pumutok yung samahan.
So what's at risk then for the Philippines with that level of domestic infighting? Because as Steve was saying, the market reaction is kind of muted right now, but certainly the country does have a pretty long list of problems to focus on.
That's right, and I think under President Marcos, the Philippines...
Pati sila, napansin nila, the Philippines has a lot of problems to focus on. Ano yung mga problema na dapat pagtuunan ng pansin? Number 1, inflation. Hindi mapigilan na pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Kakulangan sa trabaho. Tumataas na poverty rate, tumataas na hunger rate. Ang daming mga magsasaka, kawawa, fishermen, ganun din, corruption, smuggling, ang daming problema. Kaya tama si Pangulong Marcos Jr., sana totoo yung kanyang panawagan ba, yung sabi niya na huwag nyo nang ituloy ang impeachment dahil hindi nakakatulong sa buhay ng mga Pilipino. Ang gandang pakinggan, kaya lang, nag-aalanganin na ako. Parang drama lang ata yun. Para lang hugas kamay na hindi siya ang may pakana. Pinapatigil niya, kaya lang hindi naman siya pinakinggan. Tuloy pa rin ang impeachment. Anong ibig sabihin nun? So, ang dami nating problema na dapat pagtuunan ng pansin.
It's found itself in a pretty good place, both domestically and foreign policy-wise. President Marcos has moved the country to be on a much more stable footing with the US, which is a key treaty ally, and that has allowed him to then push back more firmly against China in its incursions into the South China Sea. So all of this, this focus and this discipline that Marcos has had in dealing with these external threats could be sidelined somewhat by all this domestic political drama.
So where does this saga go next? I'm seeing a headline crossing this saying that a police investigation has been moved tentatively to December 11th. I guess that's the next date to circle. But how does this play out, do you expect?
Well, Sarah Duterte is under investigation from several government agencies. Her father, of course, is under investigation from a parliamentary inquiry over his so-called drug war.
So, alam nila yung minomonitor nila yung kaliwat kanan na investigasyon ng tatay, ang anak, iniimbestigahan, drug war, to confidential funds. So, minomonitor nila. So, yan, nababalita sa ibang mundo yung political crisis o kaguluhan sa bansa. O ano ngayon? Meron bang ma-attract natin na foreign direct investment dahil dito? Kaya again, tama sana yung kagustuhan ng Pangulo na wag nang ituloy ang impeachment. Kaya lang, tinuloy pa rin. Ibig sabihin, hindi na nila pinapakinggan ng Pangulo. At tapos, hugas kamay naman ng Pangulo, sabi niya na wala na kaming magawa. Very clear yung unambiguous ang mensahe ng presidente na huwag ituloy. Tinuloy pa rin nila, wala kaming magagawa. Something like that. Okay, punta naman tayo sa isang global news naman ito. Philippine political crisis.
Political rivalries can lead to strange and dramatic moments, as adversaries jockey for influence, trying to knock their opponents down whilst bolstering their own positions. But in what's perhaps the world's most dramatic ongoing political rivalry, the Vice President of the Philippines recently said that she asked an assassin to kill the president, his wife.
The most dramatic political rivalry in the world. Ayan na, yung pahayag ng Vice Presidente na kung igurgur ako, naka-ready na ang gugurgur din sa inyo. Ayun, pinick up ng buong mundo na, kaya most dramatic political rivalry in the world. Yun na po.
And the Speaker of the House of Representatives if she herself is killed, warning that it wasn't a joke. The comments, which she has since tried to walk back on, form part of a bitter feud between two powerful political dynasties that occupy the Philippines' two top offices. So in this video, we're going to explain the crisis at the heart of the Philippine government, why the President and Vice President have so dramatically fallen out, and what it means going forwards.
So yun, pinaliwanag paano nagsimula ang unit team, and then paano na ngayon sila nagka-watak-watak. Paano nga nagka-watak-watak? Nang dahil lang sa ambisyon sa politika. Yan ang tingin ko. Ang ganda ng samahan nung una. Itong isa, yung Speaker Martin Romualdez, dinimot niya yung kanyang actually considered na mentor niya sana si PJ May kasi isang partido lang sila, Lakas, CMD. Ang chairman emeritus si GMA, ang president si Romualdez. Isang partido lang sila eh. Pati si BP Sara, nagkandidato siya under lakas CMD. So isang partido lang silang tatlo. Mamaya, nung na-sense ng isa na threat si GMA, threat si Inday, yun, dinimote. Doon nagsimulang lahat nung dinimote ni Speaker Martin Romualdez, si PGMA. Kung hindi sana nangyari yun, baka maganda pa ang samahan ngayon. Kung kinalimutan lang sana yung ambisyon nila sa politika, malayo pa naman yung 2028 eh. At nagtrabaho lang sila para bayan babangon muli. Hindi sana magkakaganito. Alam, paano? Ang presidente natin, tama si Tatay Digong nga weak leader yan. Yun na, because of weak leadership, kaya nagkakaganito tayo.